It's me, Weston.
And Marcelo.
And welcome to Trash Talk.
Episode 48.
Yeah.
I don't know why I turned into Captain Kirk there for a minute. 40. Is it Kirk, right?
Yeah, that's Kirk.
I don't watch Star Trek.
He does unnecessary
pauses. That long of a
pause. Sit.
Welcome to Trash Talk.
Well, anyway, we have a fun game to cover today because this game we actually talked about before quite in detail.
Did we?
Yeah, not quite in detail, but we were like speculating on it for E3.
Camera. We never did it for E3.
Really?
We did it for E3.
Why didn't we never do this game for E3?
Pokken Tournament. So here's the box cover. I don't know actually. We heard about it a long time ago, and it's really funny because this was like it was one of those off reveals where it was just like, oh hey, E3's over, Pokken Tournament, and I was like, is this a joke or something?
As it turns out, by now, it's not a goddamn joke.
Pokemon crossing over with Tekken, and that's not how it sounds. Like, obviously, this is not how it sounds. It's from the creators, the team from Namco, from Bandai Namco, that worked on Tekken. So, although I'm gonna bring this up one more time, and we'll get into it later in the review, but from the title, you can see it's very Tekken based or inspired.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
So, to the proper summary, this game was...
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This game was actually didn't come out. It came out not that long ago. It was March 18th, 2016, and like I said, from Bandai Namco and Nintendo. So, seeing as their partnership with Smash Bros did so well, I guess they decided, hey, let's just Pokemon and Tekken. So.
However, as we get into the gameplay, it doesn't really feel like Tekken at all. It feels like its own thing. Again, when we get to gameplay, we'll discuss more about that. So now let's get to the story of it first. And yeah, it's a fighting game story, so it's kind of bare bones. Pretty much it's as it sounds. The story mode is put into the Ferrum League. And pretty much you go through like rankings and all that, and you're just fighting in a tournament. And depending on how well you do, you rise up the rank. So like as I did in the first ranking, D ranking, or the Green League, if you get all first, like with all the if you win all your battles, then you rise up really fast. But if you lose some of your battles, you don't rise as fast. But it's split into like 4 different leagues, and despite the pyramid shape of it, suggesting that it's getting smaller, the more as you go up the leagues, you actually fight more people. So in Green League, you fight 40. You have like the chance to fight up to 40 competitors. But depending on if you win or not, let's say you win all the time, you only have to fight like a certain number of people. So you don't have to fight as many people. But as you go up the ranks, like into like Blue League, you fight, instead of fighting 40 people like you did in Green League, you fight 60 people in the Blue League. So instead of going up like to a triangle, like a pyramid, it kind of does like this instead. It goes reverse because you fight more people as you go up the ranks. And their AI does get a lot harder to fight. So they start utilizing more moves. And even though I want, like right now I'm in the Red League, which is the 3rd one before you get to Chroma League, which is like the top tier. You kind of like, I did notice the difficulty spike a little bit, but though I did win all my matches in those, except for the last one, which was against Shadow Mewtwo. Oh, and then with the story, like after you beat the promotional guy, it's like the leagues are pretty much split into 3 different parts. There's like the regular league in which you rise up, and then once you're part of the top 8, then you go into tournament mode in which you pretty much get into like brackets, and you fight 3 opponents, depending on if you win or lose. You have to get first in order to do the promotional test, which is like apparently the best guy of that league. And if you beat him, you pretty much rise up to the next league. That's how you advance from Green League to Blue League, is by being the promotional guy in the promotional test. After each promotional test, which I'm guessing this is a thing. You fight Shadow Mewtwo, and whether you win or lose doesn't really matter, but if you win, I guess you get extra stuff and you get like lucky bonuses. Which we'll talk about more with like gameplay, because like that's how you get on. It pretty much gives you a free unlock.
We're kind of already there, actually, to gameplay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's just segue. You segued, because the story, as we were saying, not really so much of a story.
Yeah, so...
But this is basically the campaign / like single player mode.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right now.
Essentially. And then now to gameplay. And this is where Pokken is weird. Because even though it's done by the Bandai
Namco.
I don't know why I was
Bandai
saying
Namco?
Namco, yeah, I was gonna say that. Even though it's done by the team that did Tekken. Yeah, the team that did Bandai Namco. It doesn't feel like a Tekken game at all. In fact,
not even when it gets to the was it phase switch?
Dual phase. Okay, so if you guys
Explain
don't,
that.
Yeah. So pretty much like it's a really cool arena fighter, but it kind of goes through like different camera views as you do more damage. Like if let's say like you do a combo and you complete the combo and you do enough damage, it enters like a different phase. And the phases is like pretty much a different view on the camera, and it splits between two phases: field phase and dual phase. Field phase is typically your more traditional arena fighter, in which you have 360 control and you are able to move around the arena as so please. And during this mode, it's more like your fighter does more projectile-based moves, which for certain characters is very beneficial, and you want to stay on this phase because, again, you have more zoning options with some characters, while other characters don't really have that much zoning options. But when you do enough damage, or your opponent does enough damage to you, you enter the dual phase, in which the camera becomes fixed, and it becomes pretty much a 2D...
On the 2D plane.
It becomes on the 2D plane, and your characters pretty much stay...
Which is kind of...
kind of more traditionally like Tekken. Though it doesn't really feel like it.
Yeah, I was going to say, even when you're in dual phase, it still doesn't quite feel like Tekken.
Yeah.
But...
And then,
kind of a good thing.
And then pretty much while you're doing combos and all that, you'll be switching through this a lot. And you will notice it. It's not going to be like, oh, I'm in 3D.
So you might have just said it, and I probably zoned out when you said it, but what determines the phase switch is the combos?
Yeah, it's the combos that you use, or if you do like enough damage. Like let's say like I do like a combo breaker on you and a counterattack, and you just pretty much go flying, then it switches. But it always starts out on field mode.
Yeah.
So it always starts out on the 3D plane. So you kind of just you pretty much rush at each other and just fight each other until until
that stuff happens.
Until it switches to dual phase, and it kind of constantly switches out. And then,
so it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, so it keeps you on your toes and keeps you strategizing.
Yeah.
On possible things. And then the Pokemon do feel different enough. We were playing with a lot of the Pokemon, and of course we found some that we liked, others that we didn't really particularly care for.
Ones like Lucario and Machamp didn't really settle with me, but...
I actually did like Machamp. I was actually really surprised. I did like him, but along with Lucario, I did not really care for him.
Yeah.
Though I think I did a little bit better with him than you did.
Probably.
But other characters like Blaziken, holy shit.
Gengar.
Oh my god.
Chandelure of all of them.
Yeah, no, and it's funny because I could not really get a grasp on Chandelure.
Chandelure is just floaty as shit, just going there, bouncing around everywhere. Gengar is just a nonsense character, and I love nonsense characters.
No. Yeah, Gengar is actually pretty fun to play.
Yeah.
Though, I tend to main another character, which we'll kind of go over.
Once we get to characters.
Yeah, once we get to characters.
I'll go over who I guess is, I kind of said Gengar.
Yeah.
Kind of my name.
Yeah.
We'll get there when we get there.
But we'll get there and get there. Anyway, more on the gameplay, because there's a lot of gameplay here.
We got. So here's a funny thing. I just realized I'm looking off to the side. I forgot to set our timer. So let's try to keep the gameplay. Let's just give it a minute or so.
So along with your main Pokemon, in which you start off with, you also get support Pokemon, and you get two support Pokemon in a set, and pretty much they serve like a small function, either to attack you, to either add a status effect to you or to yourself, or pretty much heal you and all that. So they kind of serve different functions.
Yeah.
And each of them kind of have like a fast or slow.
It's like from regular Pokemon. It's like when you have to go through your bag mid-battle and look for something to help you out like that.
Yeah, kind of.
Although it's just
like potions,
press a button.
But instead of like a potion or like a status effect healer, it's another Pokemon that does that for you.
That's pretty cool. I like
but
that.
Yeah, it adds like a lot of variety to them. Even though there's only 15 sets you can get in the entire game, and when I haven't unlocked everything, so I can't really say for certain that all of them again, I know what all of them are.
Yeah. At
the moment, I have the majority of them unlocked, and they all do kind of their own specific things and all that. Yeah. And so that makes it fun. And then plus, there's also an interesting counter system between your blocks, your throws, and your counter attacks.
So are you sure you got the system down now?
Yes.
How you were trying to explain it?
Pretty much blocks can block counter attacks and regular hits, but you can do a throw if they're blocking, and throws always be, blocks.
And that's even a Smash Brothers thing. So.
Yeah, that's a Smash Brothers thing as well. And then with counterattacks be regular attacks and throws, but they can't be blocks.
Mm.
And then with regular attacks, I guess, blocks can block counterattacks and regular attacks, but they can't block throws. So there's an interesting thing.
There's something of a learning curve with this game.
Yeah, there is a kind of learning curve, but again, in the practice mode, if you do the practice mode and go through everything, it goes on for about an hour.
Tutorial mode.
Yeah. Luckily, it's an optional tutorial mode, so you don't have to do it. But if you were to go through the practice mode, it's going to be a long haul.
Again,
practice mode.
I don't know about you, but I run the logic that so it's good that it's optional, but a good game, would have you just go through it, do it.
Yeah.
Don't show, don't tell, don't whatever. So...
Yeah, but it isn't, I never really had to use the practice mode because I just learned it through playing the game.
That's what I'm getting at. Just do it. Let's pull a Shia LaBeouf here. Just play it.
Just play it.
Get used to the controls and all that by yourself. And speaking of controls, which we gotta get to soon. Well, actually, no, that's gameplay. So we
that's gameplay. So So we were playing local multiplayer, which was fun.
Obviously.
In which player 1, oddly enough, gets the gamepad, and then player 2 gets a certain controller. And keep in mind
on the TV.
Yeah, on the TV. So second player actually gets the bigger screen, while the first player gets the smaller screen, and it works out well. It actually worked out pretty well for how they designed
Sonic
it.
Boom Rise of Lyric tried that, and the multiplayer is flat out broken.
Yeah.
But
no, Pokken does it right. This is how you want to do it. So that way you don't go split screen, because again, the game is arena fire and you want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
So, good job Bandai Namco and Nintendo on that. That was actually really good.
However,
as much as this game you have to have a controller with, like in Super Smash Bros. You cannot use the Wii Remote because the way they mapped out the Wii Remote
so fucking weird
is so bad. I did not like using the Wii Remote because
how did it feel for you?
It felt very weird, and when I wanted to do my super moves, on the Wii U, I'm gonna grab it. Hold on.
Okay.
You can just
I'll talk as you go. Okay, so it took him a while to get used to he didn't really get used to it per se. I kind of did.
Yeah, no.
But it's still really weird.
It's really weird. In order to do your super move, on which, by the way, your Pokemon can enter a super form, in which, obviously, if a certain Pokemon can Mega Evolve, they become their Mega Evolve version, and by pressing just the bumpers
on the
game pads, or on a regular controller like a Wii U Pro controller, for example, or the controller they made particularly for this game, it activates if you press it twice, it activates a super move, in which it does a lot of damage. It takes away half your health, pretty much. So a lot more damaging than an X-ray from Mortal Kombat X. So basically it's like that, and they're super stylized as all hell. So they're really flashy and they're really nice to look at.
In my opinion, some are.
Yeah.
The ones that go extra long,
Yeah.
obviously have more thought put into than the ones that kind of just happen.
Yeah.
And that's just an aesthetic thing, though. But
Yeah.
they're impressive.
Yeah, they're all pretty impressive and they all do a lot of damage. But on the Wii U remote, for a really stupid reason, they decided to put the super on both the 1 and 2 button, the buttons that I'm covering up right now. And while you're fighting and stuff, you have to, like, what I had to do was I had to let go of that part and then press both of these.
You have to, like, make your hand in an odd position to where you can go, and then quickly with your thumb go.
Yeah, but you can still attack with this one, with the nunchuck. But it's really weird,
also,
and it's just...
Go ahead.
Yeah, what?
Were you gonna keep going with your
phone?
No. Oh, well, let me see that then. Yeah. I was gonna say. Also, fucking B is to jump. And I think you said the.
Yeah, you can also jump with that. Yeah.
So the D-pad, which whatever, fine, but why would you
really want
with the D-pad? B is to jump and A is to attack. That threw me off so hard.
Yeah, that threw me off too, and it was just like, why would you design it that way?
So it's A, C, and Z that are the attacks, and then B is to jump. 1, I couldn't even find out how to block on this damn thing. So
1 is to block, and then 2 is to summon your...
2's, to summon the supporter Pokemon, and then the super move is 1 and 2 together. But it gets so confusing at times.
Yeah, no, it's like really odd. It's like, why did they put it on here? I mean, I guess like I know why, but we would have been fine if... No, they just didn't do that.
Clearly the game was, the controls and the button mapping were based around the gamepad and the controllers. I don't know why they threw the Wii Remote in the mix, but
yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, in Super Smash Bros. You could do the same thing with that.
But why the fuck?
But why would you?
Especially since they have the adapter with the controller. So
I mean, so if you guys own a Wii U and you don't own controllers,
don't play with the Wii Remote.
Get a controller!
Yeah, don't play with the remote. It's confusing.
Don't play with that. The gamepad's even better than this.
The gamepad. Well, because that's the primary thing it was based off.
Oh yeah, so it works on the gamepad and works with controllers. Don't use the Wii remotes.
I mean, it works, but it's confusing as all hell.
It's not good.
It's not recommended.
It's not recommended. Stick to a controller.
Because again, funny enough, I kind of got used to it, so I did kick its ass a few times with it, but still, it's not recommended. It doesn't feel good to use.
Yeah. With that, let's finally go into the box cover.
At long last.
There's a lot to cover on the gameplay of this game.
Yeah, so if this goes over, and we're at the end of the arc anyway, so it's kind of fine.
Yeah.
With that being said, though, the box cover is actually really cool.
Yeah.
The one thing I wish they did though was put the fucking amiibo card thing on the back. Cause come on.
Oh yeah.
Because that's just a thing for me. I was like, if I designed this, I would have put it on the back.
I would have put it on the back too, because like this front part just looks really nice, and I like to use the color, and then I like the color scheme right here, especially right over here.
The logo again, yeah.
Yeah, because it matches the logo really well, and then I do like the Pokken Tournament like logo to it. This is a very nice logo. The
again,
back,
very Tekken inspired.
Yeah, and then the back of it is kind of all right.
Well, I like it because what they're finally starting to realize that you can do now is use more of the back of the cover for more stuff about your game.
Yeah.
Because, well, I think Nintendo's always been good on that. It's usually PS3 and Xbox covers that tend to have more like this shit up and around and less of like... Anyway, so you got some awesome screenshots. You got, And
then pretty much it shows you the entire lineup of the characters on the back.
We'll get to that soon.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
But you got awesome screenshots of what you can do and of different modes. It's pretty standard, but it looks really cool. And it's impressive. It's colorful.
Yeah.
So
everything you would expect from a Pokemon game, so.
And the aesthetics from the game itself, it's Pokemon, so.
Yeah, and they actually did a really good job of adding fur effects, especially to like Pokemon with fur.
The textures and the detail is exquisite. Like even more than Smash Brothers has done with how Mario's regular stuff is like whatever, the way he looks in his games, but then like with the actual like gene texture on his overalls and such. And then with the Pokemon, how some of them do look furrier than they would like in their actual Pokemon games.
Oh yeah.
But with Pokken, as you can tell just from here off the bat and everything, they're much more detailed.
Yeah, like Garchomp especially, like you could tell that he's very scaly. With Skeptile, and this is because more of his typing, he's more of a grass type, so he kind of has like this aesthetic. He kind of has more of like a plasticky look to him, like, which is fine, but I wish he kind of had more scaly look to him.
Yeah.
And like Garchomp does, because Garchomp actually kind of has that scale look to him, like he actually kind of has like scales and all that. And then like Pokemon like Weavile and then Pikachu. And like
I've never seen Pikachu with fur until now, so they did it really well.
Yeah, Blaziken I think looks like...
Blaziken.
Yeah, I think he looks like the best character in this game. Just aesthetically, because of his fur and all that. Like,
he looks badass.
Yeah, and then plus if he...
Straight up.
Yeah, if you look at his hands also kind of have like scales, like a bird's talon. Yeah. And he has like very nice details on him.
Yeah.
So I would say like surprisingly enough, Blaziken is the nicest looking Pokemon in this game. Yeah. Not Charizard. Like I didn't really
impressive too. So.
Charizard looks alright, but I didn't really notice any textures on him a lot.
He's pretty standard.
Yeah, not compared to like Blaziken. Blaziken is the nicest looking character in this game.
So yeah.
So now to the soundtrack. The soundtrack was done by we didn't really find a lot of details on him, but I
was really thinking that maybe he was someone who worked on Tekken before, and from what I researched before filming this, not so much. So at least he wasn't any part of the more current Tekken games. So, but yeah, he was part of. We're gonna say his name right now. We gotta remember it.
I remember his name. His name was Hiroki Hashimoto.
Yeah.
I didn't have to look up that. I remembered it. I'm actually really proud of myself. So anyway, the composer was Hiroki Hashimoto. And we really couldn't find much information on him, except for the fact that he did play a big part. He played a small part in Super Smash Brothers, as he was a voice actor for it. And I think he also did some music composition for it.
He was a voice actor for it?
I think so. He said it was an actor, but also a composer.
Well, in general, he's an actor. I think he came out like in a movie or something back in like 2004. It was something like that. I didn't really see the details, but he was a composer definitely. They got a bunch of composers for the newest for Smash 4, but in the 3DS version, he had a big part in some of the tracks for that.
Yeah.
Relatively unknown otherwise, from what we've seen.
Yeah, and then we didn't really get like a very good listen at the soundtrack. From what I found,
I was tuned to the gameplay.
Yeah, the gameplay really actually.
Music that was playing.
Yeah, so I played more of the game, so I kind of have more experience with the soundtrack, and the soundtrack fits the game pretty well. But I wouldn't say it's like a stellar soundtrack. I think it just.
Shit, what's going on? So sorry for that jump cut, that sudden jump cut. The battery died, but at the same time, we found his charger.
For the Wii U controller, so we're actually gonna be playing with it later on.
So that's funny.
In which, when it comes to the update video, we'll talk more about that.
How the controller felt.
Yeah. So anyway, it should be a lot better.
Yeah. Back to where we were.
A whole lot better.
Back to where we were with the composer.
So anyway, the composer. So pretty much we only know that he was a part of like the Smash Bros team and he composed some music.
Yeah.
But I listened to more of the track, and basically from what I got from the track, again the music's kind of standard. Like it's good music, but it's not like stellar music. Like I can't name off like tracks off the top of my head.
Yeah, I really didn't hear much of the music at all.
So the music is passable. It's all right, but.
By the time we finish recording this episode, I'll probably have listened to more.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as it stands right now, as you're watching me, I have not really heard much of the music, so I can't really say much about it.
Yeah, so with that in mind, we finally get to go to the big one, the characters. And this is where I feel the game falls short.
Get out of the way.
In many ways, and I feel like this is not really... So as you guys know, there's only 16 characters in this game, 4 of which are clones of kind of each other, one being Pikachu and Pikachu Libre, in which they do feel different enough to where I could say they are different enough, but aesthetically they're very similar. In fact, they're kind of the same Pokemon. They are the same Pokemon. And then there's also Shadow Mewtwo and then regular Mewtwo. In which I hear, I haven't been able to play these two yet, but from what I understand, they both play differently as well, which is also kind of an okay thing because it's alright. But with that in mind...
16 out of how many Pokemon in total?
Yes, that comes like... But other fighting games, especially with Street Fighter V, 16 is very small. But with Pokemon, they could have added so many more Pokemon. Because as of right now, from Season 1 to Season 6, to... Why did I say seasons? Generation 1 to Generation 6. That's what I tried to say. You guys got the point. There are a total of 721 Pokemon. And for only 16 Pokemon, that's not a whole lot. Hell, it's not even like a drop in the hat. That's like less than 1%, guys. That's like... No, I'm not even joking. Well, is that less than 1%? Okay, so it's like 2%. And it's like 2 to 3% of all the Pokemon. And if I were to count the support Pokemon, it would be a little bit more, but I'm not going to count them because they're kind of more support.
They're not necessarily, yeah, they're not playable characters. We're talking playable characters.
Playable characters, there's only 16. But again, the characters feel very nice despite the lack of characters there were in there.
But that leads us to believe that something with this game will happen, which is
DLC.
I love that we said it at the same time.
Yeah, to all you DLC haters, yeah, I would say that DLC.
It's funny how DLC works with our opinions towards it as just a feature in a game, in gaming nowadays. But we actually think that it's going to be very likely that this game will get DLC.
Oh, more than
more
likely.
Characters.
Yeah, because just how the characters and how well they animate and just how they look. A lot of the characters look very nice. Again, like with Blaziken being probably the best looking one in our opinion.
And you'd have to do it right. You'd have to, if Nintendo, so listen up Nintendo, if you want to do some good ass DLC, do what you do with Smash Bros. Make it affordable. You know, we were working it out. You said if there were 10 characters for $2 each, boom, $20 for 10 characters. Maybe even throw in some extra stuff, like extra little content, customizing
like customizing characters for your avatar and all that stuff.
That's good.
That would be awesome.
That's
Not
like
only
our wish deal, like that's
like a wish thing.
Our dream deal.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I highly doubt it would be that good, but if you do that, that would set a great example for DLC. And plus, you would it wouldn't be exactly doubling your cast, but you would add a lot more to your cast, almost doubling your cast right there.
Adding for a fighter would be adequate.
Would be really good. Adding more longevity to this game, which is a fighting game problem, I will admit. Adding longevity to the game, and the best way to do it is by adding more characters later on. So with now, we finally get to go to the verdicts.
Before. How does this do as a spin-off?
Oh yeah!
Fucking incredible!
I know, this is actually a really good spin-off. A lot of Pokemon fans, including myself, have wanted this game to be there. Again, we like the turn-based Pokemon and how it is, but we wanted like a Pokemon game for a while that felt like the show. Yeah. And this game feels like the show in many ways, especially the Pokemon battle aspect of the show. Because the Pokemon just don't stand there stationary. They actually move around and start attacking each other and all that, and that felt really good. We finally have a game like that.
And it's done really well. It was funny because, again, going back to how we thought it was just some kind of weird crossover fusion between Tekken and Pokemon, I was ready to make this review to the point where I was going to talk more Tekken aspects and he was going to talk more Pokemon aspects. But again, there is more Pokemon influence throughout this entire beast than Tekken stuff.
This is definitely a Pokemon game, not a Tekken game.
So it's a Pokemon spin-off from the main line, from any other spin-offs. This is its own entity.
And it does a very good job of what it does.
Even if they don't do DLC and say they did like a sequel, I'd be open to that.
I'd be open to that too.
That'd be pretty cool.
This could be the very start of a franchise right here.
Because they have like Pokemon Dungeon and we thought, okay, that's just a cute little game. That's a series. That's a series of spin-off games.
Yeah.
So...
So it wouldn't be impossible to see this get its own series out of this. So
cool.
Yeah.
So that being said, verdicts.
Verdicts, yeah. Yeah. I actually really like this game, and I was kind of worried because of the small cast that I would not get my money's worth. I got my money's worth right here. So there's no need to worry about that. Even though the cast is small, and I will take that into account, there's so much stuff to do here, and plus, it's just so fun. It doesn't matter about the content per se, it matters how fun it is, and if it feels like it's lacking in some areas. And Pokken does not feel like it's lacking in any way. It feels really fun to play, despite the small cast list. I would like to see more Pokemon in there, but it's not a deal breaker. I would recommend this game if you're a big Pokemon fan, even if you're a big Nintendo fan.
I'm a big fighting game fan.
Oh yeah, I would recommend this. But if you were expecting more of Tekken influence in this game, I would say you would kind of be disappointed, because if you're expecting more of like a Tekken-esque spectacle of this game,
edge to it, feel to it.
It doesn't feel like Tekken here. Again, it feels like its own thing.
Yeah, I was never like disappointed by the fact of anything for Tekken, like Tekken related, because even Katsuhiro Harada said no Tekken characters will be featured or even referenced or as an Easter egg in this game, nothing like that. So it's really cool how this team just handled this game. So I'm fine with the fact that there's no Tekken influence besides as far as the logo goes.
Oh yeah,
that's as much Tekken as you're gonna get in this game.
And then plus with the character customization, especially with the avatar, I like the customization options. And if you really are a big fan of customization and all that stuff, especially if you were a big fan of Pokemon X and Y because of the customization influences, I would say you take the customization from that game and you expand upon it in your main series. Because, especially from Pokemon X and Y, because I like the customization options, and a lot of people want to feel like their character is their own character. More RPG elements in that regard. And Pokken could be a very good lead-in into Generation 7 and just the whole customization options with your character. And along with your Pokemon and your character, you can customize them freely instead of your character just looking the same throughout. And just like your team being different. That would be good. I would like to see more of that. That's really good. So out of everything, I wish there was more characters, but again, with DLC, you can easily add longevity to this game as long as you do the DLC right. And if you do it right and all that stuff, I could easily add more. In fact, another idea to kind of get people enticed into Generation 7, put a Generation 7 Pokemon in there. So my verdict is a 4 out of 5. This is a good game, and I would recommend.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I recommend. Like, I was actually kind of thinking a 3.5 out of 5 before I bought it.
Oh, okay.
But after I was playing more and more of it, I actually did like this game, and I easily spent hours on this game, and I didn't really realize it. And it's a fun game, and you do get immersed into it. So that's why I give it a 4 out of 5.
So we got cut off again. My battery sucks.
Just well, not want to help you.
Yeah, it's not the fact that the battery sucks. I just keep not letting it fully charge. Anyway, so I'm surprised that you gave it a 4 out of 5 and not a 4.5 out of 5. Because I was going through the review, I'm thinking to myself, so in the end, should it be a 4 or should it be a 4.5? And I actually agree with you and say 4 out of 5 for my verdict as well, because there is room for improvement, but the game is fine, and it is fun. So, you get your money's worth. There is quite a lot of content. Now, in terms of characters, yes, there could be more. Could be a lot more, actually, but that's the whole point of our DLC conversation, so.
Yeah, and if you want to hear more about that, we're going to be doing kind of, since this video did go on for longer than we expected to, we're going to be doing kind of a 48.5, and we're going to be
Best Bits compilation.
Yeah, so pretty much...
We've been off topic a lot.
Yeah, kind of going over some of the half-baked ideas that we came up with.
So, after Arc 5 ends, as a little bonus episode, because I don't really want to... It's going to take a while to, like, make and have it, there. Stay tuned for an episode 48.5 where we talk about a bunch of stuff. So yeah. That being said, though, this game is fun. We totally recommend it, and yeah, we're gonna start rambling. So with that being said, I'm Marcelo,
and I'm Weston,
and this was Trash Talk.
Yeah.
We're getting close to the end of the season, or the arc rather, and Arc 5 is going to be awesome. So.
Yes. And
the finale.
we've been talking about some good games. These next two. No.
Teases!